What if I told you that 93% of people are running the same broken mental program every day, failing not because they're weak, but because they were never taught how their brain actually works? Most people are reactive, distracted, and stuck in loops that sabotage their potential. But there is a way out, and it doesn't require luck, talent, or external motivation. It requires understanding the science of yourself. Your brain doesn't want success, it wants safety. Train it to choose growth over comfort. This statement reveals one of the most important truths about human behavior, deeply rooted in neuroscience. The brain's primary job is not to make you successful, powerful, or fulfilled. Its core function is to keep you alive. That's it. That means it's constantly scanning for threats, avoiding pain, and seeking predictability. This survival mechanism, while crucial for keeping us alive in dangerous situations, becomes a major obstacle when it comes to achieving greatness, taking risks, or stepping into the unknown. The problem is that the brain interprets change as danger. Every time you think about starting a new habit, making a bold decision, or entering uncharted territory, your brain's default response is resistance. It whispers, stay where it's safe. Stay in the known. Don't risk failure. Don't rock the boat. That resistance isn't laziness, it's biology. The amygdala, a region of the brain responsible for processing fear, activates when we face uncertainty. It hijacks your focus, clouds your judgment, and convinces you that comfort is better than growth. But comfort is a silent killer of potential. Growth, on the other hand, is uncomfortable by nature. It demands that you stretch beyond your current limits. And if you don't consciously train your brain to lean into discomfort, it will always default to the easy way out. Training your brain to choose growth means rewiring how it responds to discomfort. It means exposing yourself to calculated challenges regularly. This is known as hormetic stress, small doses of stress that build resilience over time. Just like lifting weights creates micro-tears in your muscles that grow back stronger, facing fears and pushing boundaries makes your brain more adaptable and capable. One way to train your brain is through deliberate discomfort. Wake up earlier than you want to. Take cold showers. Speak in public even when your heart races. Each time you do something hard on purpose, you are sending a signal to your nervous system that discomfort is not death. You're showing your brain that fear doesn't mean stop, it means grow. Neuroplasticity is your greatest ally in this process. It refers to the brain's ability to change its structure and function based on experience. Every time you resist the urge to escape discomfort and instead stay present, you strengthen neural pathways that favor courage, focus, and resilience. Over time, what once felt terrifying becomes normal. What once seemed impossible becomes routine. It also helps to reframe your internal dialogue. Most people hear the voice of fear and believe it. They hear, I'm not ready. What if I fail? I don't have what it takes. And they stop. But training your brain means you recognize that voice as a leftover survival instinct. You acknowledge it, and then you move anyway. You don't wait for the fear to disappear. You carry it with you into action. Another powerful technique is visualization. Olympic athletes use this, Navy SEALs use this, and you can too. Visualize yourself in uncomfortable situations, succeeding. Feel the fear and imagine moving through it with strength. Your brain can't tell the difference between real and vividly imagined experiences, so this practice builds the neural circuits for courage even before you act. You also need to build routines that normalize discomfort. Create systems that make growth your default. Block out time for learning something new every day. Track your habits. Surround yourself with people who stretch your thinking. Environment shapes behavior, and if your environment rewards comfort, you will remain the same. If it demands excellence, you'll rise to it. Recovery is also part of the training. Just as athletes need rest to grow, your brain needs reflection and sleep to consolidate what it's learning. Sleep is when the brain prunes unnecessary neural connections and strengthens the ones you're using. So if you're constantly stretching yourself but not sleeping or recovering, you're not optimizing your growth. You're burning out. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role. It teaches you to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. When you sit with discomfort instead of running from it, you reclaim power over your primitive brain. You show it that higher reasoning and purpose are in charge now, not fear and impulse. The science is clear. Your brain is malleable. Your habits, thoughts, and actions are the chisels. If you always follow the path of least resistance, you reinforce the wiring of fear and avoidance. If you consistently lean into growth, you strengthen the pathways of resilience, clarity, and confidence. Ultimately, your life expands in proportion to how often you choose discomfort over safety. The person you become depends on the brain you train. It's not about being fearless. It's about being trained. It's not about being comfortable. It's about being committed. Most people will never do this work, which is why most people will never experience true transformation. But if you do it, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, you separate yourself from the 93%. You become someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives. Your brain may want safety, but your soul craves purpose. Train the brain. Serve the purpose. Move anyway. Focus is a skill, not a personality trait. Protect it like your life depends on it. This truth is often overlooked in a world that glamorizes hustle while normalizing distraction. Many people believe that some are just naturally good at focusing, as if it's a gift you either have or don't. But neuroscience proves otherwise. Focus is not something you're born with fully developed. It's something that can be trained, sharpened, and protected over time. The brain operates through a complex system of attention networks, and like muscles, these networks strengthen with use and weaken with neglect. The more you focus deliberately, the better you get at focusing. The more you multitask and allow interruptions, the more fragmented your attention becomes. In the age of smartphones, social media, and constant notifications, your attention is under attack. Your ability to focus is being eroded, not by lack of talent, but by habits that hijack your brain's natural rhythm. Every time you pick up your phone mid-task or shift from one app to another, you are training your brain to scatter. You are teaching it to be shallow. This rewiring has long-term consequences. It leads to mental fatigue, impulsive decision-making, and a chronic inability to enter deep work. Deep work is where transformation happens. It's where learning becomes mastery, where creativity flourishes, and where goals are actually achieved. But deep work requires full, undivided focus. You can't reach it by accident. You must fight for it. Protecting your focus starts with acknowledging that your attention is your most valuable asset. It is what you use to build everything else: your skills, your business, your body, your relationships. If your attention is scattered, your life will be scattered. If your attention is sharp, your results will reflect it. The prefrontal cortex is the area of your brain responsible for sustained attention, decision-making, and goal-directed behavior. It thrives when distractions are minimized and purpose is clear. But when your environment is chaotic, this region struggles to function efficiently. You can't expect laser focus in a mental environment designed for chaos. That's why creating structure around your focus is essential. Start by designing a space that limits distraction. Put your phone in another room when you work. Use tools like website blockers to shut off temptations. Work in time blocks. Set a timer for 25 to 90 minutes where you focus on one task only. No switching, no checking, just doing. The brain adapts to this, and over time, it becomes easier to stay locked in. Begin your day with clarity. Before diving into emails or scrolling feeds, ask yourself, what are the 1-3 most important things I need to do today? Then do those things first before your brain is exhausted or hijacked by the demands of others. Focus isn't just about removing distraction, it's about aligning your energy with your highest priorities. Multitasking is a myth. Your brain can only focus on one cognitively demanding task at a time. When you try to do two things at once, what you're actually doing is task switching, and every switch comes with a cognitive cost. You lose momentum. You make more errors. You remember less. The myth of productivity is that doing more equals being effective. But the truth is, doing fewer things better is where progress lies. Focus makes your efforts compound. Instead of 10 shallow actions scattered throughout the day, 1 hour of deep, uninterrupted focus can yield more value than an entire distracted day. Training focus also means training how you handle boredom. Most people reach for their phone the moment they feel even slightly bored. This habit is a trap. It teaches your brain that stillness is bad, that silence must be filled. But stillness is where insight lies. Boredom is the prelude to breakthroughs. If you can sit through it, practice being bored. Go for walks without your phone. Sit in silence for 10 minutes a day. These small moments retrain your nervous system to tolerate discomfort without escape, which in turn expands your capacity to focus when it matters. Nutrition, sleep, and movement all impact focus as well. The brain runs on glucose and oxygen. When you fuel it with processed food, deprive it of rest, or sit motionless for hours, you reduce its capacity to focus. Regular physical exercise increases blood flow to the brain and supports neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, especially in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Sleep consolidates learning and clears neural waste. Without it, attention declines rapidly. You can't be focused if your physiology is falling apart. Your relationships also influence your focus. If you're constantly surrounded by people who distract you, complain, or interrupt your flow, your attention will suffer. Protect your focus by communicating clear boundaries. Let people know when you're in a focused block. Turn off notifications and be unavailable during your most important work. Teach those around you to respect your flow, and you'll begin to value it more deeply yourself. Mindfulness meditation is another powerful tool to enhance focus. By sitting and observing your breath or thoughts without judgment, you're building your brain's attentional muscle. Each time your mind wanders and you bring it back, you're doing a rep, strengthening your control over where your mind goes. Even 10 minutes a day of mindfulness practice has been shown in studies to increase gray matter in the areas responsible for attention regulation. Focus is also tied to emotion. When you are anxious, fearful, or emotionally dysregulated, focus becomes difficult. Learn to regulate your nervous system. Breathing practices like cyclic sighing or box breathing activate the parasympathetic nervous system, helping you stay calm and centered. A calm mind is a focused mind. You cannot focus deeply when your body believes it's in danger. Emotional mastery and focus go hand in hand. You need to treat focus like a sacred practice. It is the gateway to excellence, to mastery, to purpose-driven living. Every day you are either building your ability to focus or weakening it through distraction. There is no neutral. You must decide what matters most and then build your life to reflect that priority. Remove what drains you. Add what sharpens you. Be ruthless about your attention. It is the lens through which you experience everything else. The sharper the lens, the clearer the path. In a world full of noise, the ability to focus is a superpower. It's not something you're born with. It's something you protect, cultivate, and honor. Train it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Sleep isn't rest. It's mental programming. Miss it, and you lose control of your mind. Most people treat sleep like a luxury, something optional that can be squeezed between everything else in life. But science makes it clear sleep is the most powerful tool for cognitive function, emotional balance, decision-making, and brain health. It's not a shutdown, it's an upgrade. During sleep, especially deep and REM sleep, your brain runs essential processes that can't happen while you're awake. It's when your brain rewires, cleans itself, processes emotion, encodes memory, and resets the nervous system. Without it, you're not just tired, you're mentally vulnerable. The human brain operates like a high-powered computer. While you're awake, it collects data, responds to input, and manages functions. But just like a computer needs a reboot, your brain needs sleep to defragment and reorganize. Sleep is the brain's operating system update. During deep sleep, neurons communicate in synchronized waves, helping consolidate facts, skills, and motor patterns. During REM sleep, the brain processes emotional experiences and enhances creativity. These cycles are essential for learning, adaptation, and emotional resilience. When you miss sleep, you're not just sleepy. You're sabotaging your ability to focus, problem solve, and regulate emotions. Sleep loss impairs the prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive center responsible for logic, planning, and self-control. When it's underpowered, your impulses take over. You react instead of respond. You procrastinate more, make poor decisions, and feel overwhelmed by simple tasks. Chronic sleep deprivation mimics symptoms of anxiety, depression, and even ADHD. It reduces your emotional bandwidth, shrinks your tolerance for stress, and weakens your immune system. One bad night of sleep can drop your alertness and reaction time to the level of legal intoxication. And it only takes a few nights of poor sleep to put you into a chronic state of dysfunction. Your nervous system also resets during sleep. The parasympathetic system, responsible for rest and recovery, becomes dominant. Heart rate slows, blood pressure drops. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is regulated. Growth hormone is released, which repairs muscles and tissues. Glymphatic fluid flows through your brain, clearing out metabolic waste that builds up during the day. This includes beta amyloid and tau proteins, which are linked to Alzheimer's disease. In other words, sleep doesn't just make you feel better, it literally protects your brain from degeneration. If you care about your long-term brain health, prioritizing sleep is non-negotiable. When you're asleep, your subconscious mind takes over. This is when dreams occur, and dreams are not random. They are your brain's way of sorting through information, integrating experiences, and running simulations. It's where problem solving often happens without effort. Many breakthroughs in science, art, and engineering have come through dreams. Thomas Edison, Salvador Dali, and Nikola Tesla all used controlled sleep and dream states to access creative insight. Your brain is doing work at night that you cannot replicate during waking hours. Skipping sleep means skipping that deep internal processing, which leaves you mentally and emotionally scattered the next day. The timing and quality of sleep are just as important as the quantity. Your body operates on a circadian rhythm, a roughly 24-hour cycle that controls when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy. This rhythm is influenced by light, temperature, food, and behavior. Going to bed and waking up at inconsistent times disrupts this rhythm, leading to insomnia, fatigue, and mood swings. Blue light from screens, especially at night, tells your brain it's daytime, suppressing melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep. When melatonin is blocked, your body delays sleep onset and the quality of your rest suffers. To support your natural rhythm, expose yourself to bright sunlight in the morning and dim lighting in the evening. Avoid screens an hour before bed. Create a wind-down routine that tells your body it's time to shut down. Caffeine, alcohol, and late night eating are enemies of quality sleep. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 8 hours, meaning if you drink it in the afternoon, it's still affecting your brain by bedtime. It blocks adenosine, a chemical that builds up in your brain and creates the pressure to sleep. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it disrupts REM sleep and leads to fragmented rest. Heavy meals before bed force your digestive system to stay active when it should be resting, leading to poor sleep and morning fatigue. Creating a sleep-friendly environment is key. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Use blackout curtains, white noise, or a sleep mask. Make your bed a space reserved only for sleep and intimacy, not work or scrolling. Train your brain to associate that space with rest. Sleep also affects your willpower. When you're rested, your brain has the energy to resist temptation, delay gratification, and follow through on intentions. When you're sleep-deprived, the primitive parts of the brain, those driven by emotion, hunger, and instant reward, take over. You'll crave sugar, skip workouts, and fall into reactive loops. So many people blame themselves for being unmotivated or undisciplined when the truth is they're just exhausted. Sleep is the foundation. Without it, all your goals become harder, not because you're weak, but because your brain isn't functioning at full capacity. Training your sleep is like training a muscle. It requires consistency and attention. Wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This anchors your circadian rhythm. Avoid naps longer than 20-30 minutes after mid-afternoon, as they can interfere with night sleep. Exercise during the day, but not too close to bedtime. Cooling the body mentally and physically is critical for initiating sleep. Try a warm shower before bed. It helps trigger the body's natural cooling mechanism, which signals sleep. Keep mental stimulation low in the hour before sleep. Read fiction instead of scrolling headlines. Journal your thoughts instead of letting them loop in your mind. Create a system that supports recovery. Sleep is a multiplier of everything else you do. If you eat well, train hard, and work smart, but don't sleep properly, your results will always be capped. You won't retain what you learn. You won't adapt to stress. You won't recover from effort. But when you sleep right, everything else improves. Your focus, your emotional regulation, your creativity, your performance. In the modern world, good sleep is a competitive advantage. It sharpens the brain, calms the heart, and unlocks clarity. Remember that your waking life is shaped by your sleeping one. How you sleep determines how you show up. Don't treat it like an afterthought. Respect it. Optimize it. Guard it like the treasure it is. You're not being lazy by prioritizing rest. You're programming your brain for power. Every great day starts the night before. Sleep isn't passive. It's the deepest form of active preparation your mind can do. Use it wisely, and it will change your life. Discipline is the bridge between intention and identity. Build it daily or stay stuck forever. Intention alone is never enough to change your life. Every person has intentions. Everyone wants to be better, stronger, more focused, more fulfilled. But most people never cross the gap between who they are and who they could be. That gap is not filled with motivation, inspiration, or even talent. It is only crossed through the daily practice of discipline. The truth is harsh but simple. Without discipline, your goals remain fantasies. You stay in a loop of potential that never materializes. You become someone who always talks about change but never embodies it. Discipline is the internal structure that allows your identity to evolve. It's the repetition of small acts that reinforce the belief that you are capable, consistent, and in control. You don't become disciplined by wishing for it. You become disciplined by showing up again and again, especially on the days when you feel like quitting. The brain adapts to what you do most often. Every time you follow through on a commitment, even when it's uncomfortable, you wire in the identity of someone who follows through. This is neuroplasticity in action. You're not just training habits, you're training identity. And identity is destiny. Many people are stuck because they are waiting for the right feeling to act. They think they need to feel ready, feel motivated, feel confident. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is action in the absence of mood. It's doing the thing because you said you would. It's showing your nervous system that your word is law, that you can be trusted to lead yourself. This consistency builds internal strength, which radiates outward into every area of life. Relationships improve, confidence grows, opportunities multiply. Not because the world changes, but because you changed how you engage with it. There's a deep psychological shift that happens when you live with discipline. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as the architect of your reality. You realize that you are not defined by your past patterns, but by the choices you make right now. That realization is liberating, but it comes with responsibility. You can no longer blame laziness, distraction, or environment. You are either choosing to cross the bridge through discipline or choosing to stay stuck. There is no neutral. Every action is either reinforcing your current identity or constructing a new one. Building discipline starts small. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. That kind of extreme change rarely lasts. Start with one promise to yourself, something manageable but meaningful. Wake up at the same time every day. Make your bed. Drink a full glass of water in the morning. Write for 5 minutes. Move your body. Do it consistently, no matter how small it feels. Each act of follow through is a vote for the new identity you are creating. The more votes you cast, the more your brain believes this is who you are now. The momentum builds. What once took force becomes natural. What once felt hard becomes automatic. Discipline also requires clarity. You must know what you're aiming for and why it matters. Vague goals create vague action. Specific goals aligned with a strong why create powerful momentum. If your goal is to be fit, define what that means. Is it training 4 times a week? Is it eating clean 80% of the time? If your goal is to grow mentally, does that mean reading 20 pages a day, meditating for 10 minutes, journaling every night? Get clear on what disciplined action looks like. Then attach it to your identity. Instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I am a reader. Instead of I want to work out more, say, I am an athlete. This identity shift pulls behavior upward. It's important to understand that discipline is not perfection. You will slip. You will miss days. The disciplined person is not the one who never fails, but the one who returns to the path quickly. One mistake doesn't undo your identity unless you let it. The key is to never miss twice. Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It's about choosing alignment. It's self-respect in action. It's honoring your long-term vision over short-term urges. Every time you delay gratification, you strengthen that part of your brain that governs self-control. That prefrontal cortex becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Environment shapes discipline more than willpower does. You become what surrounds you. If your phone is filled with distractions, you will struggle to focus. If your kitchen is filled with junk, You will eat impulsively. If your friends constantly sabotage growth, your mind will normalize comfort. Discipline is not just about pushing through resistance. It's about designing a life that makes the right choice easier. That means optimizing your space, your routines, and your influences. Put reminders of your goals where you can see them. Build friction around bad habits. Reduce friction around good ones. Make your future self the default, not the exception. Accountability also enhances discipline. When no one knows your goals, it's easy to quit quietly. But when you declare your intention to someone you respect, or even just to yourself in writing, you create pressure to perform. Find someone who will hold you to your standard, not your excuses. Track your progress. Reward consistency. These small systems create big shifts. Over time, discipline becomes identity. You no longer ask, should I do this? You just do it because that's who you are now. That shift from willpower to identity is where real change lives. One of the greatest myths is that discipline restricts freedom. The opposite is true. Undisciplined people are slaves to impulse, emotion, and distraction. Disciplined people are free to create, free to grow, free to act in alignment with purpose. Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like. Freedom is having the power to choose what serves you. And that power is earned through discipline. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're not just building a habit, you're constructing the strongest version of yourself. The process is simple, but not easy. It demands repetition, patience, and relentless honesty. You will want to quit. You will doubt yourself. That's part of the journey. But discipline is forged in fire. It's created in those moments when the couch looks better than the gym, when scrolling feels easier than writing, when sleeping in is tempting, but you rise anyway. Those moments matter. They shape who you become. Discipline is not something to fear. It's the key to everything you want. Without it, your goals fade. With it, your future becomes non-negotiable. There are two versions of you, the one who dreams and the one who acts. Discipline is the bridge between them. Build it daily or stay stuck forever. That is the choice in front of you. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, because the person you become is built in the days when it's hard. And if you rise to meet those days, you will become unstoppable. Not because you're perfect, but because you're disciplined. And that changes everything.